So we'd like to welcome you all to our very first podcast. This is New Homeowner 101.
Woo.
And yeah, and just to meet you all, my name is Nick. This is my lovely wife, Natalie. And so just so everyone knows a little bit about us, we are new to the podcasting world, but we are also new to the homeowner world. So we just bought a home. How many months has it been now?
A little over, or 6 months, I think, will be this month.
Okay, we might have to edit this, because I think we have to count August, September, October, November.
Oh, okay, so
it's just been 4
4
months. Yeah.
Feels like 6.
It feels like 6 because it's been a journey. Especially for most of our married life, we have been renters, and so we've rented. We haven't really had to
maintain anything
or have the responsibility of making sure everything functions properly in the home.
Right. We're having to figure it out ourselves without being able to call somebody to just fix it.
Yeah. So it's all new to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of our podcast is we wanted to share our journey with you, because we know that there's other people out there that maybe you're Gen X, maybe you're millennial, maybe you're Gen Z, and you've never bought a house before or owned a house. And so we thought maybe what we can do is share some of the things that we've learned that can help you along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can learn from you. So we look forward to getting to know many of our listeners. We invite you to add comments to our podcast page. And we want to get to know you and learn along the way. So in our first episode, we thought we might focus on the subject of plumbing. And I know, right? You're probably wondering why out of all of the subjects would you select plumbing? And so I think because as homeowners, plumbing was actually the first obstacle we had to tackle.
Yeah.
So Natalie, maybe you can tell our listeners about what happened when we moved in. It was literally our move-in day.
Yeah, the very first day we moved in. Yeah, it was very hot that day, and we had moved, well, pretty much we had moved everything in, and we had friends over helping us unpack, and I wasn't in the bathroom, but my mom and my friend were in the bathroom, and all of a sudden they told me, I needed to come here, and the tub was full of dirty, disgusting water that had backed up into the bathtub, and the toilet wouldn't flush. And yeah, all my stuff that was in the tub that we hadn't organized yet got completely gross. And which was really strange to us because we had visited the house many times to look at it.
Right.
And we had used the restroom in the house and flushed the toilet while we were
multiple times
looking at it, checking it out. And nothing happened. So it was really, it was pretty awful that day.
And I remember the reason why the water appeared in the tub was because we were unpacking our dishes. And
right, we were cleaning the dishes
in the sink. A friend of
sink.
ours and him and I, we were washing all of the dishes in
running
the sink.
the water the whole time in the sink, in the kitchen.
And then suddenly the water from the kitchen appears in the bathtub.
Well, yeah, so we thought. It was pretty gross.
Yeah, so as a new homeowners, obviously we are completely confused. Mm-hmm. So that was basically the first indication to us that something was wrong with the plumbing.
Right, and we wanted to sleep there that night, so we were like, how are we going to sleep here if we can't even use the bathroom?
Oh, that's right.
Because we only have one bathroom. So.
You're moving into your new house, and you're expecting to sleep there, and then suddenly you can't use the water. Oh, because we tried to flush the toilet, and the toilet filled up and would not move. Mm-hmm. So this then caused us to begin investigating what was causing that plumbing issue and what we could do to make sure that the drain line was draining properly.
Mm-hmm. Right. You got under the house.
Right.
And trying to see what was going on. And we had a couple of friends with us that one friend in particular suggested what some of the problems could have been.
And he's a handyman.
Yeah.
And a longtime homeowner. So it was invaluable that he was there to help us.
Right.
But we crawled under the house because we have a crawl space. And one of the things he suggested was looking at the level of the drain line. So if you can imagine, here's the drain line, and the drain line obviously needs to be sloping down because it needs to have all the water, all of the sewage running out of the house. But the drain line was not flowing down, it was flowing backwards. It was like there was a bow in the drain line.
Yeah.
So
instead of going away from the house, it was coming back towards the house.
Right. Almost like it had to go uphill before it went downhill.
Right.
Now, interestingly, the home had been renovated. So the seller had said, hey, I've replaced all of the plumbing. But getting under the house helped us to really, first really understand where all the plumbing goes in the house. How does it all work?
Right.
We could begin to indicate and see what were the supply lines and what were the drain lines. So,
and that almost all of the plumbing, like piping, was replaced except for the part that we were having an issue with.
So all of the supply lines were replaced. They were all brand new.
Right.
And they were PEX, which one thing that we had heard was, you don't want old PEX.
Right.
It was all brand new PEX, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But the drain line, the main drain line, had not been replaced. Now, the main drain line was a combination of PVC and this really wicked old piece of cast iron. And the cast iron was like almost like a junction where all of the drain lines all came into. So the kitchen went into this cast iron piece, the toilet went into this cast iron piece, the shower, everything just all converged in this one cast iron piece. Apparently the seller decided that he was going to replace all of the plumbing, but let's just leave this raggedy old piece of cast iron.
Right. Which wasn't,
So note to any of you listeners who are looking to buy a home and the seller says, I've replaced all the plumbing. It would be good for you or your inspector to go under the house, make sure that they really have replaced all of the plumbing. Now, granted, we did catch that in the inspection, and we even asked about it, but our seller didn't want to budge. So that's another story for another day. So back to this, our handyman friend told us, hey, all we need to do is just basically make that drain line slope a little bit more. So it's sloping out of the house.
Yeah.
So we went to the local Home Depot and we bought a metal strap and we restrapped it. And this was really ingenious. We put in new straps and then cut the old straps. And what it did was suddenly now it laid into the new straps and flowed out of the house.
And that worked for about a week.
It worked for a week, and we were very happy. Everything suddenly rushed out of the house.
Yeah.
You could hear the water just going out. And so that was good. We were very happy about that.
But then a week later was when the same problem or similar problems started happening again.
So it happened again.
Yeah. And this time,
no, I was going to say that, apparently just where that old cast iron piece was, even though we had sloped the drain line, the PVC line, that cast iron piece still wasn't sloping enough.
Right. Right. And then, so you really felt like we had a clog somewhere in the line.
Yeah.
And that's when you called a friend of yours to come and help us snake the line.
So we used a manual snake.
Right.
Because the clog was first where the cast iron piece was.
Right.
But then once we cleared it, it moved down the line and got stuck again. So we used a manual snake.
Right. It was just like this long, like flexible.
Right.
I don't know, cord.
Yeah.
I guess.
But But interestingly, through that whole process, my friend helped me to learn how to take the toilet off,
right?
Which was very invaluable. So taking the toilet off is not something difficult. So for many of you that are new homeowners, don't think that you need to call a plumber to do that. To snake your line, you simply need to remove the water from the tank and from the bowl, and then unscrew the toilet and take it off. Mm-hmm. You need to be careful of the wax seal. Mm-hmm. Maybe, hopefully, if it's a newer home, you just have a rubber seal. Mm-hmm. But then after that, you have access to snake your line. Mm-hmm. So we used a manual snake. It worked, but it didn't work enough. It was really jammed.
But you were able to find that there was a clog much further down than we had expected there to be.
Exactly. Yeah. And another good friend of mine, it was really clogged further down, and with the manual snake, we couldn't clear it.
So we couldn't stay at home that night. Because we couldn't use the bathroom.
Again, new home.
Only been a week, and now we have to leave it.
Again, sleep at her parents' house. So, I was in the process of calling a plumber. I was going to call a plumber because I was at my wit's end when a friend of mine, actually, I called him to get the number for the plumber, and he told me, dude, why don't you just rent a powered snake and snake it yourself? But again, okay, write this down, new homeowners. Something I did not know. You can rent a powered snake from Home Depot or Lowe's, either one.
Much less than having to pay the plumber.
Yeah. So.
And wait on the plumber, because you were able to rent it on a Saturday. Well, you were able to rent it on Saturday for Sunday.
Right, it was a Sunday.
So if you had called a plumber on a Sunday, well, one may not have come out, or they would have charged us a lot of money.
Oh, right. So I rented the snake for $75. And my friend told me, I could have been charged $400, $500 for a weekend visit to do that snaking. So if you're writing this down, and we'll include some checklists and tips in our podcast, but powered snake is the way to go to rent it. Just rent it if you really need to clear things.
Right.
Now, when we rented the powered snake, Natalie's dad helped me, which was great because I'd never used one before.
Right.
But interestingly, when we pulled it out, guess what we found? We found little pieces of a rag.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, so a rag had somehow been stuffed down the line, or someone had put it like in the hole after the toilet was removed, left it there, and then they just let it go down the drain.
Right.
And I'm thinking a big rack like that can't go so far. Only so far.
So interestingly, when I talked to a friend of mine who is a plumber, he explained to me, he even asked, he said, was your kitchen renovated? And we said, yeah, it was. And he said, yeah. So apparently what a number of plumbers or even flippers do when they're renovating a house is that when that drain pipe is open and they're refinishing the bathroom, oftentimes they'll stuff a rag inside of it to prevent the methane gas from coming back up, and it stinks up the bathroom. No one wants to work in a stinky bathroom that smells like sewage, so they stuff a rag in there. Well, lo and behold, on a number of occasions, they forget to take the rag out. And then so then a new homeowner gets a big clog.
Right.
Which is basically what we had.
Sewage into your tub.
So for those of you who are new homeowners or getting ready to buy a home, it really is good to know if they have renovated the bathroom, be sure to check the drain line. Now, if you're going and checking the home to see if you're going to buy it, sure, you could flush the toilet and it may work just fine. But if there is a rag in there, eventually it's going to cause some issues. So,
so you snaked it with the powered snake. We're able to get out the rag. That helped a lot. And we didn't have a problem for, a little while.
Yeah.
Then we kind of had a similar sound or issue happen again.
We did. So we had a similar issue happen again, but we're going to pause here because I think it would be good for us to cover that in a future episode because there are more things to learn with plumbing maintenance. Mm-hmm. So we've given a lot of tips for those of you who are moving into your new home or buying a home for the first time. Some other things to find out are, where is your water shut-off valve? That's important. Also, checking the seals of your sinks. That's important too. And then also checking your water heater. Now, we're going to talk about that here either next episode or the episode after that, because that was a whole learning curve as well.
Yeah, sure.
So we'd like to thank you all very much for joining us for our first podcast. In our next episode, we're going to walk through some simple and safe plumbing maintenance tasks that every new homeowner can do. Yeah. And you don't need special tools. You can do this with either no tools or just regular tools. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we'd like to thank you all, and we'll see you next episode.